Hey guys, this is my 2024 SR Hilux Extra Cab. Now today we're going to do a full walkthrough on how my touring setup has helped me get out every single weekend. All right, let's have a look. Starting with the front end, I'm running a genuine Toyota steel premium bull bar. Now inside here, take these clips out. Hidden behind there is the Runver winch, which I absolutely love. You wouldn't even know it was there. I've hidden a little control right there, and it's got a wireless controller as well, so you can have it wired or wireless. And I can easily access the clutch straight through here. I'm running the genuine Toyota light bar. Now I would have gone full length light bar, which they do, but I still had to be able to reach that clutch. So if I put a full light bar in there, I wouldn't be able to put my hand through and reach that clutch. I'd definitely love to run spotlights, but one thing a lot of people don't know about the Toyota Hiluxes, with this radar right here, Toyota warned you when you're fitting their bull bars, you cannot mount spotlights right here as it interrupts the Toyota safety sense, and you're actually blocking that radar. So if you have an accident, you might not be covered by insurance. So most people don't know that, and they'll still go ahead and do it. But you come in an accident, they might not be covered. So I would not recommend putting spotlights on a Toyota Hilux if you have a radar right here. I'm running the two genuine Toyota recovery points at the front. I've also fitted some aftermarket fog lights in here as well to fill up that gap. Now I'm running the phone booster on one side here, and I'm running the Uniden UHF on the other side. The phone booster is hidden underneath my seat, and it boosts the signal of my phone while I'm driving along. On the bonnet, I'm running a genuine Toyota tinted bonnet protector. There's also a 90-watt solar panel here from VSS Solar. Now they stick a layer of vinyl down to your bonnet first to protect your paint. Then they use VHB tape to stick the panel down to your bonnet. A lot of people are concerned about heat and everything else on the bonnet, but as you're driving along, you get airflow over your bonnet, so there's no issues with heat on the bonnet. I've had this on here for probably 6 months now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm also running 400 watts up on the rooftop tent there. So I've got 490 watts of solar from VSS Solar, plus I'm running a 200 watt solar blanket from iTech World as well. So I've got nearly 700 watts of solar. Now, if you don't have a dual battery system, you can still run this panel here to your main battery and keep your main battery fully charged, always ready to go. One more thing about the panel I didn't realize until I actually drove out of the shop once I got it fitted. I no longer see a white bonnet. I don't get that glare of a white bonnet when I'm driving now. All I see is the black, and that's non-reflective. I'm also running genuine Toyota side rails and steps. Now the steps, the cover on the steps when you buy them, they come out with like an aluminium finish on them, but I didn't like that. I wanted black and white theme for my car. So I painted the whole covers, both sides, in Raptor paint. Now I've got extra grip and it looks a lot better. I'm also running some genuine Toyota roof racks across here too, just the two crossbars. I did want to go platform, but not many people actually make them for the extra cab. Plenty for a single cab or dual cab, but extra cab was really hard to find anything at all. So I'm happy with this. All I wanted it for was to hold max tracks anyway, and I'll also might be getting a Starlink Mini soon too, which I'll mount up there as well. I chose the extra cab because I don't need a dual cab. I'm by myself, I don't have a family or anything with me anymore. So all I use this for is camera gear and clothes in the back here. I can still fit a passenger. When my son does come up, I can still fit another passenger in the back here. I can actually have two passengers in the back. I can nearly have as many people as a dual cab ute. They just don't have as much leg room. That gave me an extra 300 mil on this canopy. I'd rather have a bigger canopy and lose the back seat. Inside, I keep it very basic. I have a phone mount there, which mounts directly on the grab handle. Now that is a quad lock that never comes undone. It's also a wireless charger. I'm running the Warrior Vision reverse camera. That's also a dash camera that does front and rear. There's the front, and I can change the angle. There's the rear and the front, and there's back to the rear. I have a camera mount up there when I'm driving along recording. A Zoleo satellite communicator there, so I can send texts or emails anywhere in Australia, regardless of service. That comes in very handy. And I also run my Samsung tablet on a mount that mounts down to the floor next to the fire extinguisher, and that runs my Explore Oz GPS map, so I always know where I am. I also run Waze on here, plus I've got Google Maps, everything else. At least I can never get lost off-road. I run the EVC throttle controller and also the Red Arc electric brakes. And I installed an extra 4 USB ports, so I've always got plenty of ports available for charging. The Uniden UHF runs through an RJ45 pass-through to one of the blanking plugs there. And it was mounted down there until about a week ago when the 3M tape gave way. And now I need to find a new place to mount my handpiece. I keep trying to find new places for it, but everywhere I put it, my knee keeps rubbing up against it. So at the moment, it's just sitting in the cup holder. I'm still running the genuine Toyota 17-inch rims. Now I could have gone the 18s, they offered me the SR5 rims, but I wanted 17s purely so I could bag them out more on the bottom. I do a lot of sand and off-road driving, so I want to be able to bag out the bottom of those tyres as much as possible. Now I'm running the 275 65 17, the Toyo Open Country AT3s, the OPAT 3s. I heard good things about the tyre, so I wanted to try it out for myself. Now I've fitted tyres for 13 years previously, so I've had a lot of experience with tyres, and I was happy to try this one out. Now the 275 65 17 is one size bigger than standard, and due to that I had to chain my mud flat back because the mud flat was hitting as you go full lock. So even just one size bigger affects it on the Hiluxes. I also had the Dobinson GVM upgrade, 3.5 tonne as well, and aftermarket upper control arms to fix that wheel alignment as well, because once you do the GVM upgrades on these and raise it 2 inches, you do need to change the upper control arm. Up top, I'm running the Camp King Industries Rooftop tent. Now, I wouldn't recommend that to most people. It's Australian made. There's only a couple on the market that are made in Australia, but being Australian made, you're paying for Australian labour, Australian materials. They use the premium canvas that no one else does. This is probably the best canvas on the market. And due to that though, it's very expensive. So you're looking over $10,000 just for the rooftop tent alone. So most people don't need to spend anywhere near that amount. A couple grand on a rooftop tent is all you need to spend. I also run the Core off-road shower awning bracket so that I can fold the shower away and it locks away just there. That way it still allows me to open up my canopy door and have my shower. I'm also running the Julka shower awning. Now I've been running this since I've had the new Hilux. I did a review on it a couple of weeks ago, which is just up there. Now, my original one, honestly, it was absolute crap. It failed completely. The bag wasn't PVC. The bag faded within weeks. It was just terrible. But luckily they've innovated since then. They took my feedback on board and actually changed a few things. Now the bag is a proper PVC, UV stable bag. And they've even added, which I asked for, somewhere to put your toilet roll holder. That's all we needed. Not everyone uses this as a shower. Some people want it as a toilet. So now they put a toilet roll holder a lot lower. So when you're sitting there using the toilet, you can actually reach it now rather than reaching above your head trying to reach a toilet roll holder. Love what they've done with it now. I'm super happy now. I've changed my mind and I do love it now. Both the rooftop tent and the awning are from Camp King Industries, both Australian made. Now this is a freestanding 270 awning and it truly is freestanding. I have never tied this awning down in no matter what wind conditions. The only time I do tie it down is in between the poles here occasionally if it's raining, just so the water can run off, and that is the only time for water run off, so the water doesn't pool here. Otherwise, I trust this in any sort of conditions. But again, it's premium, so you're paying top dollar for it. You're looking over $3,000 just for this awning, and most people don't need to spend anywhere near that, so I wouldn't recommend it to most people unless you're traveling full time and you think of these products as an investment and not just something you're going to use occasionally. At the rear, I'm running the genuine Toyota tow bar with the genuine Toyota rear recovery points as well. So front and rear recovery points are both genuine Toyota. I'm also running the genuine Toyota reverse camera in here, as well as my other reverse camera, which is up higher. That's my dash cam inside. So I have front and rear dash cam. Because this one isn't live all the time, at least I have a secondary camera so that I can see past my canopy at all times while I'm driving. Not only am I running the 3.5 tonne GVM upgrade from Dobinson, I'm also running airbags as well in the rear. Not that the suspension wouldn't have been able to handle that weight. The only reason I went the airbags on top of the GVM upgrade was because my kitchen side in the canopy is on the left-hand side. A lot of the weight is on the left-hand side, so it was actually sagging a little bit to the left, even with that GVM upgrade. So the airbags just level it out. So I've got the two valves right here. They can easily just inflate or deflate anytime. Now the fun part, I'm running the MRT X Series chassis mounted canopy. It means there's no tray. It's just mounted straight to the chassis to save weight. Now I've done a whole video up there if you want to check that out for yourself, where we walk through all the products, weights, everything. Now I've got two jerry can holders on the rear with gas struts, so they're lockable. One of these, I've just got a 20 litre water jerry in it with a tap here. The other one is just diesel. I have a top end gear gas holder at the back here. Now, a lot of people think this is MRT. They request from MRT to have that product fitted when they get the canopy, but this isn't actually an MRT product. So I purchased this one separately, and it's got 2 bolts through the canopy here and 2 bolts through the bottom. So there's 4 bolts holding this gas bottle holder in, and that way when I slide the table out, the rear drawer, my Weber goes right here and plugs directly into the gas bottle. Easy. I've also managed a steady light right here as well, so that it lights up my cooking area when I'm cooking. One question I get asked a lot with this canopy though, if I have the awning up, how do I get up in my rooftop tent? Because I cannot use this ladder. The ladder is awesome if I don't have the awning out. Just 2 pins, drop down and up I go. But yeah, I can't get up now. So I keep an extra ladder in my canopy so I can get up from the sides when I've got this awning open. Because I have the extra cab and not the dual cab, we were able to fit an extra toolbox at the front here, which I keep my jumper leads and a jumper back in there, ready to go. This back toolbox, I just keep my bin on it here. I don't have a proper bin bag yet. I'm still buying bits one thing at a time as I can afford it. Now I keep my recovery gear in this side and my tools in the other side. Open this door up. Now a couple of weeks ago I fitted a secondary light to the outside here. This is a Terraloom Industries light. It's got the amber or the white, but I much prefer the amber. Plus the Canopy comes with a built-in light on the inside here with amber or white as well. Now that runs through your main battery. Now I bypass that and I run it to my secondary batteries so that I never flatten my main battery. In saying that though, if you do actually leave the light on, you close it and you lock the Canopy, it will turn these lights off automatically, so you won't get a flat battery. This side I purposely left nice and open so that I can still throw my swag, firewood, whatever I want in here. The Weber, so that stays in there. I normally keep a fire pit in there as well. It's just usable space. I don't want to fill it all up with dead weight. For probably 7 years now, I've been running the King's compressors and I've never had an issue. This is my second one. The other one eventually died after, I think, 5-6 years, which was really good for 100 and something bucks. So now I just went out, I got another one. I had the companion hot water service. Now I've got 2 hoses, which are in that drawer there. They just plug straight in. I have a bucket of water down there. Put one hose in the bucket, the other hose straight up to my shower. I get an instant hot water shower. It's got a little butane can on the back of it. And it has got a built-in lithium battery in it, so you can be portable. Just throw it in any sort of car, you don't need power for it, and it's ready to go. But I've hardwired mine to my batteries. Now I'm running the Red Arc TVMS Rogue. That's the brains of my whole 12-volt system that runs all my switching and everything else. That's how I turn on all my lights, the compressor, the hot water service, everything runs through the TVMS Rogue. And it also runs through the Red Arc Manager 30 as well, so I can monitor all the inputs and outputs of all my loads, so I know how much is coming in or out of my batteries at all times. And also runs through the display, and I've also got the mobile app as well. So while I'm driving, I can still see how much power is going into the car while I'm driving. I've got the Red Arc RS3 2000 watt inverter, which powers all my 240 volt appliances. And to run the whole lot, I have 2 Adventure Kings 300 amp hour lithium batteries. So 600 amp hours of lithium, plus 700 watts of solar, so I never run out of power. I run a hardcore panel on this side and on the other side, which just has plenty of USBs, cigarette plugs, answer plugs, everything else, all sorts of power that I can need, just plug in and charge away. A lot of my camera gear I have up the top, my professional lighting that I use at night time when we're cooking and stuff, so we have good lighting when we're recording. I have my fishing drone, the Airy Pro, in here all the time, the gimbal, my fishing bag, more spare chairs, and in the drawer I have all the stuff I don't use very often, toilet chemicals, my hose for pumping up tyres and all that other sort of stuff, general stuff we keep in that drawer out of the way. Weber lives here, and I just grab it straight out, put it on that back drawer, instant cooking. That other ladder lives in the corner, and then I just keep some rod holders there. And I have my fishing rods up high so they don't get damaged. For probably the first 6 months, I had them just laid on the ground here with the Max Tracks. Everything was just moving around at the back, and something was going to break, so I had to do something. So now they're mounted up high, they don't fall down, and they're not going to break, and the Max Tracks are up on the roof finally. I built a whole false wall at the front here to support all my 12 volt gear. Let's go have a look at the other side. Now for my favourite side, the kitchen side. So I've got all my tools in this side and recovery gear on the other side, like I said. Never got any dust in either of these toolboxes. They're all great, and they all run through the central locking. One button does the whole canopy as well. In the front, I eventually want to put a little hose reel in here with water. So a little water squirter on a hose reel. One thing MRT don't have at the moment is water storage options. Besides your 20 litre jerry can holder, there's no under tray water tanks available at the moment. So they're options I'm looking into in the future, because I do want more water storage. 20 litres just is not enough. When you go away for a week or 2 weeks, there's no way 20 litres can do you more than a couple of days. You have one shower, there's over 10 litres gone just for one shower. I do like they've integrated the fuel filler right here. So when this door is closed, you wouldn't even know the fuel filler was there, hidden away nicely. This is the best bit. Beautiful kitchen. I've carpeted up on top of the door here, and then put all my patch collection there from all the different content creators and everything I've met over the years, starting with the pantry, which has recently just been released. Pulls out, plenty of storage room in here, paper towel holder, and also the important thing, room for stubby holders, everything you need in there. Nice little nook. The shelf is also adjustable on that pantry as well, which really helps. I've actually moved it myself up higher so I can fit bigger items in there as well. Now typically you can only fit an 85 litre upright fridge in a canopy. That's what I had in my previous canopy, and that's what most canopies offer. They actually have a lower floor with a flat surface across here, so you don't need to raise your fridge up to clear the surface when you open the door. It clears just by itself without needing to raise it at all. So I have plenty of storage room in there, And there's actually no beer in there at the moment. Been trying to find another beer to go with since everyone sort of boycotted my favourite beer, Great Northern. So I'm trying to find a new regular beer. Here, my utensils drawer. Knives and forks, just like home. All my sunscreens, dishwashing liquid, all those sort of regular sort of stuff I keep in there. This drawer here is my induction cooker. It's also got pots and pans and plates and everything else, chopping boards and stuff. Egg flips, tongs, sharp knives, everything else I keep in that one as well. Up the top, I've got, I think it's like a $49 microwave from Big W. It's perfect for there, fitting there nicely. And also a little air fryer from Big W as well. They both fit there perfectly. Then I have a little storage area here, a little box with all my cords, charge cords and everything else. I have my drone batteries and everything else I charge there. I have the other hardcore power box here with the USBs and cigarette plugs and everything else. More Anderson plugs under there. And my 240 volt power board right here, where I can plug in the induction cooker and everything else. So the microwave and air fryer stay on all the time. Next to the pantry is my Red Vision screen, where I can monitor all the outputs and inputs. So at the moment there's 1.9 amps going into the battery, even though I'm completely under shade at the moment. And if we go to solar, you can see today I put in 500 watt hours, going about 300, 700, 1200, 1100, 1300s. It puts in so much power. If I've forgotten anything, guys, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer any sort of questions you have. Now, in the future, I will be doing a full rundown on this MRT Canopy. It has been over 6 months, so I will be doing one very shortly, but this is just basically how I've got it set up and how it helps me get out every single weekend. If you found the video helpful, guys, leave a like, it really helps. Like I said, any more questions, leave it, happy to answer. If you've enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I make lots of these adventure videos. But thanks for watching the video, guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.